squad captain, is beginning on the bench today. We'll see him at some point. JEFINHO might be the man most likely among the starting five. Special big cheer for RICARDINHO. DAMIAO on the left of the picture there is a squad veteran at 41. RICARDINHO, by the way, is the only player in the tournament to have scored twice so far. One in both Brazil's games, and crucially the first goal for Brazil in both games. Now, Iran have not conceded a goal yet in this competition, and one of the reasons for that is their giant goalkeeper there, Meysam SHOJAEIYAN. I mean, he really does fill the goal, which is only 2 meters high. ZADALIASGHARI has been a player who the crowd have really enjoyed watching. He's combative and skillful, and he got the second goal in their win over Morocco. Sadegh RAHIMIGHASR has had plenty of minutes as well from the Iranian bench. Unlimited substitutions in football five-a-side at the Paralympic Games, so there'll be plenty of rotation by both coaches throughout. The guides getting a little introduction to the crowd as well. They play a crucial role, as of course do the match officials, led by the man from Argentina today. So the picture is this: if Brazil get a draw or win, then they will win Pool A. If Iran win, then they will be certain of their place in the semi-finals and they will win the group. A draw will also be good enough for Iran to see the place in the last four, but as group runners-up. If they lose, they'll have to wait and see what happens in the match between Turkey and Morocco, because if Turkey then won well against Morocco, they'd have a chance of overtaking Iran on goal difference, because the two teams drew 0-0 earlier in the competition, Iran and Turkey. So Iran do have an interest here. If they start losing in keeping the score down, a heavy defeat would be potentially disastrous for them. But they could still qualify on the mark they're on now, 4 points. RICARDINHO is coming on to conduct the pre-match formalities. There was a question mark about his fitness prior to the tournament, RICARDINHO. So it's perhaps no surprise that Brazil are using him sparingly. And of course they have great confidence in the rest of the squad as well. Number 9, Felipe, is on the field for the first time in the competition. There's the coach, Fabio Vasconcelos. He was the goalkeeper in the Brazil side that won the 3 previous Paralympic football five-a-side tournaments. They've never lost a match in football five-a-side. Can that man perhaps lead Iran to what would be a very famous, historic victory over this Brazil team? Came onto the Paralympic programme football five-a-side in 2004. Brazil beat Argentina in the final on penalties. They beat China in the final in Beijing. They beat France in the final in London. The French side didn't qualify this time. So it's a tall order for Iran, and on Brazilian territory as well. Crowd just being reminded that they must be quiet during the game. Hearing clearly for these players, of course, is absolutely everything. The interpretation of all the different sounds that come their way, that's what gives them the picture of what's around them where the ball is. tense final moments before kickoff. Last checks, last handshakes with the coaching staff. Referee Travaglino is almost ready to get things underway. So can Brazil make it 3 wins out of 3? Or will Iran cause a major surprise, beat the host nation and win Pool A? First things first for Iran, a point will take them into the semi-finals for sure. Iran playing in the white, and Brazil with a chance immediately. And that was Nonato. Does well to find the ball and swivels quickly. Goalkeeper, when the ball's in play, cannot leave his goalkeeping area. And indeed, the goalkeeper was coming too far out to give instructions to his players there and was told by the referee to get back in. JEFINHO for the first time with these magically swift feet. And they will look to switch the play. Here's Marcos Felipe. Ball has metal plates in it with ball bearings, so it constantly rattles when it's on the move. Not so much when it's in the air, though. Then the ball is almost silent. Felipe's ball into the centre. SHAHHOSSEINI and JEFINHO. Referee might step in. If the ball is motionless, of course, it isn't making a sound, so it can be impossible to locate. Nonato. The Iranians well organised in a block, but Brazil will look to shift the ball quickly and separate them, and they've done that. Nonato's found it. 2 saves from SHOJAEIYAN in quick succession. And he did particularly well, Nonato, because the crowd had got excited after the initial effort from JEFINHO. And he still managed to locate the ball close to goal. He's off again. The direct route. And a second chance. ZADALIASGHARI retreating to try and make the tackle. Here's Felipe. Well, it's all Brazil at the start here. ZADALIASGHARI will be charged with relieving some of that pressure. He's very strong, very hard to knock off the ball. And he does have plenty of skill as well. A shout of voy coming in from the defender. Has to do that according to the rules. The attacker has the ball, of course, which makes the noise. The defender has to let the attacker know where he is for fairness and for safety reasons. So you'll hear voy being spoken out loud by the defenders. Have to say it clearly so the attacker can hear. ZADALIASGHARI moving that swiftly away from Nonato. And a clear trip. Iran team have called for the medical staff here for ZADALIASGHARI. He took a few blows in their previous match against Morocco. He'll be very pleased with the start his team have made. the announcement on the loudspeaker of the first team foul against Brazil. Fouls that result in direct free kicks. Count as team fouls, and when a team commits more than 3, then each foul after that they commit sends the opponents to the 8-metre penalty mark for a clear shot at goal. It's tough to score from 8 metres, it's a long way. And a sighted goalkeeper. This is rather worrying for Iran. ZADALIASGHARI seems to be holding his shoulder. He's such a key player for them. He's had a really good tournament, but he's being moved very carefully onto that stretcher. That's really sad. Good hand for ZADALIASGHARI. With the way he looks with the long hair and the swashbuckling style, he's really impressed the crowd. We've enjoyed watching him throughout this tournament. So Sadegh RAHIMIGHASR is on more quickly than he would have expected, and he's on the ball. Yeah, it's a good effort by RAHIMIGHASR. Comfortable save for LUAN. But Iran will feel better having got into Brazilian territory for the first time. JEFINHO. There's too much angle on that pass. I don't think Felipe will get there. RAHIMIGHASR did well, created the space for the shot, but not the power. And you do see power in the shots from some of these players. There have been some spectacular goals. Ricardinho's got 2 beauties for Brazil. Maximilio Espinillo for Argentina scored an especially spectacular goal from the angle. Now, SHAHHOSSEINI is just keeping possession here, and Brazil are not budging. Here comes JEFINHO. Now RAHIMIGHASR. Cat and mouse, if ever you saw it. Thiago Silva, the young man, only 20 at his first Paralympics. Pass didn't find the target. RAHIMIGHASR. Brazil almost left themselves in a bit of trouble there. RAHIMIGHASR again, putting Thiago Silva under pressure. JEFINHO. Looking to switch it back to Marcos Felipe. Hossein RAJABPOUR. And he's beaten 2 here. And still RAJABPOUR. Well, the Brazil defence is now back in position. Just for a second, it looked like he might have a shooting opportunity. And there wasn't an Iranian teammate on that left flank, so easy for NONATO to come in here. Good tackle by POURRAZAVI. It'll be Marcos Felipe to just touch it, and JEFINHO to begin one of these mazy runs again. JEFINHO going all the way round. He nearly got there. Some of these athletes, of course, can see a little bit. Some are completely blind, all wear the blindfolds to make sure that the playing field's completely level. And the referees will check those blindfolds at regular intervals if they feel that one has come away even slightly. They have to be really hot on that. There's a lot going on for the officials, actually, with various instructions coming into the players. The guide behind the goal gives instructions to the attacking team as they're coming forward. Often it can be just a number, a distance from goal in meters perhaps, because you think the instructions are coming on so quickly, there's no real time for the player to listen and think about it. It has to be completely intuitive. Super tackle there by NONATO to win the ball from the Iranian captain RAJABPOUR and JEFINHO. The way they locate one another with these passes, it's terrific. JEFINHO with the high ball, and NONATO's got it. Oh, it's just another super save from SHOJAEIYAN. What a high ball it was from JEFINHO, and NONATO did so well to get it, readjust and get the shot in. Just think of the number of things that have to happen for that high ball to be controlled by a teammate. When nobody has vision at all, it's extraordinary. Of course, with the goalkeeper unable to come outside of that small goalkeeper's area, NONATO was able to get very close to goal without a challenge. RAHIMIGHASR. Now TIAGO is going to get there here for Brazil. 2 to beat. But SHAHHOSSEINI had the right line of the ball. And he's going on a run himself. Iran only prepared to attack with single forwards so far. Quite understandably, knowing that a point will take them through to the semi-finals. RAHIMIGHASR into the space. Well, shoulder to shoulder, was it, from Thiago Silva? Bit of a blow for RAHIMIGHASR, who's having his blindfold checked. He just stepped in front of the attacker. Bit of urgent defending from Thiago Silva. Just once or twice, Iran have had a man running through with a bit of space and only one defender left. RAJABPOUR knew that he'd taken the pace off the ball and was able to recover and find it. SHAHHOSSEINI with JEFINHO of Brazil here, right up against the boards. Good strength from JEFINHO, shifting the whole Iranian defense from one side to the other. He knows NONATO is waiting out there. Nice turn from NONATO. Then a bit more brute force. They still haven't got it from him. Here's Marcos Felipe. Good acceleration with a tight angle. Tough to beat a goalkeeper as strong and big as SHOJAEIYAN from there. But still, it was the initial burst from Marcos Felipe, which just earned in the space. And more promise from Brazil. Five shots, 4 on target from Brazil. So that was the first one officially that missed the goal. Just the one effort so far from Iran, from RAHIMIGHASR, which was saved very comfortably. Still, it's only RAHIMIGHASR who is going up against the Brazilian backline on his own, but making ground here, and still NONATO had to be forceful there. It's going to be a corner. Well, that's good news for Iran. ZADALIASGHARI is up and okay. Because the way he left the field, we rather suspected that he might not be back in this match. So RAHIMIGHASR will touch this for RAJABPOUR. Scored Iran's first goal of the competition in their win against Morocco. Oh, super turn by RAJABPOUR. Just lost control right at the crucial moment. TIAGO just getting into the game a bit now. His first start of the tournament. Interception by Marcos Felipe, and he was tripped by RAHIMIGHASR. And that will be the first team foul against Iran. Javad FELFELI, the Iranian coach, he was sporting quite a bushy beard during their first match. It all came off for the Morocco game, which they won. NONATO. Well, he got the power, but not the accuracy. RAJABPOUR on the run for Iran. NONATO, a little fortunate there. He just grabbed at RAJABPOUR a little bit. Goal kick the call. So RAJABPOUR it is who's going to take a break. And ZADALIASGHARI is okay to come back. Must have just been winded by the fall. It was a heavy fall. Mercifully, it's not as bad as it appeared. 10 minutes or so then to half-time. And I guess, to a degree, so far so good for both teams, in that Brazil will top the group with this and Iran will qualify. So a draw does suit both, but the Brazilian team in front of their home crowd, you're telling me they don't want to score goals and hear the adulation? I'm quite sure they do. ZADALIASGHARI on the ball. Hear the volley from NONATO. Has to say that. If defenders don't, they will get penalised by the referees. NONATO is a physical player. He offers plenty in defence and attack. He's not the silkiest of the Brazilians, but highly useful man to have around. JEFINHO does have some magic, but he's being bullied out of it by ZADALIASGHARI. And ZADALIASGHARI, well blocked by Marcos Felipe. And he's down again. Marcos Felipe, what a run. Oh. He didn't get hold of it. It's a shame, really, because the run was splendid. Well, ZADALIASGHARI, unfortunately for him, he's going to complete an unusual double here in that he's going to be stretchered off the pitch twice in the same game. Rasool BASERI is his replacement here. His first minutes of the tournament. 20-year-old forward, so a new experience for him. Well, again, we hope ZADALIASGHARI is okay, but somewhat strange goings on. Seemed to be fine when he came back on, but then very quickly decided he was in need of help to get off the field. NONATO. Iran shorn of perhaps their star player. Brazil's star player hasn't taken to the field yet. But JEFINHO can still produce some magic. Ooh, and he nearly did. Again, not much backlift. The shot comes in quickly and with force. But still, SHOJAEIYAN has not been beaten in this tournament. How did he find the gap between defenders? Well, BASERI, well tackled by Marcos Felipe. The answer to that question, to some degree, comes from communication from the guide behind the goal. RAHIMIGHASR. TIAGO located the ball and decided to go in with a stiff tackle and did well for his team.
Substitution from Iran. They are number 9.
RAJABPOUR to return. RAHIMIGHASR is limping a bit. One or two of the Iranians in the wars today. It's a game of skill, but the physicality of it is vitally important also. Marcos Felipe is going to take a rest, and for the first time this tournament, we're going to see the wonderfully named Mauricio DUMBO. DUMBO and JEFINHO made a bit of a mess of the corner, but they will get another one. JEFINHO. POURRAZAVI in very strongly. Here's DUMBO for the first time. Trying to switch the play. NONATO, well, he will pick up a corner here. Well, Brazil on top here. This is their 6th corner. 8 shots on goal to Iran's 1, but they haven't got the goal to show for it. JEFINHO, again with the lob into the penalty area. NONATO. Just with a little sway in field. Trying to open up a gap in the defence through which he could get a powerful shot away. JEFINHO, look at the speed with which he moves the ball. It's absolutely extraordinary. And then back the other way. Good reaction from POURRAZAVI in the Iran defence to close that down. Defenders concentrating furiously on the location of the ball. Trip on NONATO. Rasool BASERI. And that's going to be a second team foul against Iran. Shouldn't be too much of a problem with 4 minutes 40 to go in the first half. The team fouls get reset for the second period. JEFINHO. Super skill. It's quite a long way out to hit it, but worth a try. It's hot work out there. Timeout taken by the Islamic Republic of Iran. And a few instructions for NONATO from the Brazil coach, Vasconcelos. Makes sense in many ways that he's gone from being goalkeeper of the Brazil team to head coach. Goalkeepers have a key role in organising the defensive units. But there's no doubt that the headline about this Brazilian team, as it is about so many, is the flair and skill and the enjoyment that they bring to so many. The exuberance that they have as ball players. Think of the hard work and the training that's gone into that amount of ball skill. And the communication that's involved and the instincts that develop so that you get a feel for where the goal is and when and where to strike it. HEIDARI and RAHIMIGHASR are coming on here for Iran. Seemed to be a problem with SHAHHOSSEINI's blindfold, so they're just going to take a few minutes with him off the pitch to make sure that that's properly sorted out and that the referees are entirely happy that he can't see anything before he returns to the field of play. Challenge by DUMBO was a good one. Here's NONATO. Never really had it under close control. Now JEFINHO. All four defenders in that diamond, trying to drift together as a unit to close down the ball carrier. Dumbo. Oh, that was nicely done. And this might come for Nonato. Well, POURRAZAVI was trying to get there. Again, it's agonizing for the crowd as the ball rolls across the penalty area towards the Brazilian player. But the best thing they can do is be as quiet as possible and let him get as good a read as possible on the line of the ball as it rolls towards him. Now TIAGO has touched that and there will be a corner to Iran. He was trying to let it go. And that's not an easy skill either. It's the weight of the ball from Dumbo which was so tantalizing. You see Nonato just leaning in, trying to hear every single roll of the ball as best as he could. Some furious instruction coming from the Iran bench. SHAHHOSSEINI's mask has been sorted out, so he's coming back on. Off goes Mohammed HEIDARI, who's not had many minutes. Only 3 against Morocco before today. Rare Iran corner, here's RAJABPOUR. Brazil just with the 3 defenders back, leaving one upfield. Thought they could deal with that corner without the full unit of 4. That's pretty unusual. But an indication of the confidence they have in their defence. The knowledge that Iran aren't actually throwing too many men forward. Although it's usually just the one man from the corner who makes the dart on his own. It's also giving Iran something to think about with JEFINHO being the man left forward. Brazil get the ball to him with less than the full complement. Well, he might score anyway. Another fine run by JEFINHO. Still, they can't find the opening goal. But if they do succeed in getting JEFINHO against limited defenders or one-on-one, the odds will be in Brazil's favour. 90 seconds to half-time then. Brazil the better of the 2 teams, but nothing to show for it. Still, we haven't seen the best player, RICARDINHO, yet. Seen plenty of JEFINHO, though. POURRAZAVI's a good defender. He's the last line for Iran. There's always one man in these teams who, when he comes in and makes the tackle, he knows it's basically him or a shot on goal. Now RAHIMIGHASR's gone down. TIAGO's been penalised for the challenge. He didn't make his presence clear with a bark of voy, because he seemed to make contact with the ball. Last few seconds then of the first half, 44 to go. This is about 12 meters out. Mohammadreza Shadal Basse. Hossein RAJABPOUR couldn't move it sufficiently to one side to be able to shoot around the wall. That's the skill to be able to manipulate it swiftly and change the angle. JEFINHO. He's got time here for a run. 20 seconds. Nice run too. Best save of the game so far from SHOJAEIYAN. That was heading into the corner. Now DUMBO. Another good save. Raining shots in on the Iranian goal. "12 seconds to get something away from this corner. Here's JEFINHO. Will he jink back to the right? He's coming left this time. NONATO, 3 seconds. Well, it wasn't a bad try, was it? POURRAZAVI blocked it. And that's the half done. Well, Brazil ending it as they started it, on the attack and forcing saves from SHOJAEIYAN. But his goal remains intact, as it has done throughout this tournament. He's a hard man to beat. That was a fine save. He got down really well from that great height. Iran will be happy. Brazil relatively so. At half-time, Brazil 0, Iran 0. Well, Brazil are getting good shots away. It's a high percentage of shots on target, really. 9 of 15. And even though Iran have had 49% of the ball, you wouldn't say they've posed a regular threat. Good atmosphere. Crowd is steadily building. Early start in Rio. No doubt the public in this city are waking up to the great enjoyment that the Paralympic Games bring. And the five-a-side football is getting more and more popular by the day. As Brazil look for a 4th consecutive Paralympic title. Only Iran's 2nd appearance in the football five-a-side. They were 6th in London. So a little bit of history here for them. If they can get through to the last 4. No doubt Iran have been improving. They beat China in the Asian Championship last year to qualify. China have generally been regarded as one of the best sides in the world. Silver medalists in Beijing. They've got a couple of really exciting attacking players. Here are the best moments of the opening half here, though, and JEFINHO posing a constant threat. NONATO has got a real ability to lurk around the goal and collect passes in and around the posts, get shots away. FELIPE had a couple of good runs too for Brazil. The crowd got very excited about that particular run. Oh, JEFINHO poking that shot between defenders. That was a dangerous moment. This came all the way through to NONATO eventually. Took an age to do so. Lovely run by JEFINHO there, and he just couldn't quite hit the target with a shot. You can see the threat he poses. The changes of direction are so fast. SHOJAEIYAN is an enormous goalkeeper, and he's going to take some beating in this tournament. Much fun to come in the second half. Half-time, it's Brazil 0, Iran 0.
vão avistar todos os torcedores aqui na arena. Então vamos combinar o seguinte: você que trouxe a sua bandeira, você que trouxe a sua faixa, tá na hora de jogar ela pra cima aí. Levanta aí, vai. Quero ver todas as bandeiras aqui da nossa arena pro alto. E agora eu quero saber o seguinte: segura ela aí, DJ, segura um pouquinho o som. Quem aqui não é do Rio de Janeiro, levanta o braço por gentileza. Então, para todos vocês, desde já, em nome de toda essa cidade que passa a sua vida inteira de braços abertos, sejam muito, muito, muito bem-vindos à cidade maravilhosa. Aqui a casa é de vocês, não só durante os Jogos Paralímpicos, mas o ano inteiro a gente está aqui para receber muito bem a todos vocês. Então agora, vou combinar uma coisa. Levanta os dois braços. Agora, bota essa mãozinha pro alto aí, vai. Bota essa mãozinha pro alto aí. Vamos lá, a arena inteira. Isso. Joga lá em cima. Agora, coloca o braço pro lado. Abre os dois. No melhor estilo Cristo Redentor. Vai, abre aí. Isso. Coloca a mão direita no ombro da pessoa que está ao seu lado direito. A mão esquerda no ombro da pessoa que está ao seu lado esquerdo. Se você não conhece essa pessoa, não tem problema nenhum. Conheça a partir de agora. Todos fazem parte da torcida paralímpica. Isso. E agora eu quero ver todo mundo junto. Vai. Pro lado direito. Joga o corpo pra direita. Joga pra direita. Agora pra esquerda. Pra lá. Pra cá. Ó, pra direita vocês vão gritar bem alto. Rei. Pra direita. Pra esquerda, Rô. Pra esquerda. Pra lá. Pra cá. Então agora que vocês já mexeram, não tira a mão do ombro não. Continua aí. DJ, agora você capricha no som e eu quero ver essa torcida inteira junta numa coreografia só. Capricha na música aí, JP. Solta o som, que é pra essa galera balançar pra lá e pra cá. Aumenta aí, vai. Bota essa mão no ombro, DJ. Tem que ser um ritmo mais cadenciado. Tem que dar chance pra galera balançar. Pra direita e pra esquerda no ritmo da música. Vamos lá. Um olho pro outro, vai.
So we're nearly all set for the start of the second half then. And would you believe it, having been stretchered off the field twice, ZADALIASGHARI is back out there again for Iran. Happily. No goals in the first half, but Brazil dominated. Looking to make it 3 wins out of 3 and seal top spot in Group A. A point will be good enough for Iran to take them into the football five-a-side semi-finals for the first time. Still a few seconds before we're going to start this second half. Dumbo is getting his blindfold sorted out on the touchline. And the referee will check with goalkeepers and guides as well before we are set to go. Still nobody scored against Iran in this championship yet. And that will be a source of great encouragement to the Iran coaching team. "25 minutes left. So can Brazil find a way through this stubborn Iranian defence and past their excellent goalkeeper SHOJAEIYAN in this second half? Iran in the white. JEFINHO and co in the luminous yellow. And JEFINHO's off on a run straight away. SHAHHOSSEINI made the tackle. ZADALIASGHARI, who left the field twice on a stretcher in the first half, is back on for Iran. Seems to be moving relatively well. Here is ZADALIASGHARI. Iran content to just leave one up and see what that player can do. A draw will take them into the semi-finals for the first time, remember. So if time does elapse, while they keep the ball in their own half, they're not going to be particularly sorry with that. I think a draw will be seen as a huge success by the Iranian team and job done. But Brazil, in front of their home crowd, want to win again. JEFINHO, that man. And the coach will be keen that their attacking play provides more goals. This is the fourth time football five-a-side's been in the Paralympic Games. Brazil have always won the gold medal. Argentina have traditionally been their big rivals in this form of the game, but they've beaten Argentina, and they've beaten China, and they've beaten France in the gold medal matches. For Iran, semi-finals would be new territory. He's got to keep the ball moving a little bit, ZADALIASGHARI. If he can play it, he can't keep it still for more than a few seconds. RAJABPOUR went after it, but strong tackling by DUMBO. Trying to switch play to JEFINHO. Another tumble for ZADALIASGHARI. Mercifully up quickly this time. Oh, JEFINHO was looking for NONATO. They've got a particular relationship, those two. I mean, the ball makes no sound when it's moving through the air. So the communication, and I suppose the practice that they've put in, has to be perfect and instant. NONATO got there before ZADALIASGHARI. Iranian kept in contact with him. Now towards DUMBO. SHAHHOSSEINI reacted quickly, moving out to shut him down. They're looking for JEFINHO. But Iran are hunting in a big pack at the moment, making it really difficult. DUMBO away from RAJABPOUR. NONATO. Iranian defense is working really hard here. JEFINHO, not much space to try a trick or two here. What might he try? And once the two defenders come in together, that's the problem. He's not moving well, is he? Well, it's a shame. He's clearly not 100%. He seemed to be a lot worse than he is on a couple of occasions. So Brazil free kick, Thiago and JEFINHO. JEFINHO. Oh, unlucky. Struck the base of the post. Feinted to the left, swiftly back to the right. And SHOJAEIYAN was really worried then for a second. But he got a touch. It's got to go down as a really good save, I think. RAJABPOUR marking NONATO in the centre. They've taken a call. They can't have NONATO just lurking out in front, because they have been able to pull off that crossfield pass, which is a very difficult thing to achieve. Now, JEFINHO causing chaos, and he went early then, when he might have had a bit more space to advance. Crowd are desperate for a Brazilian goal. ZADALIASGHARI. No joy, here's NONATO, away from RAJABPOUR. SHAHHOSSEINI came in with a tackle, and then they all followed. Oh, but NONATO's emerged! Good save. And the crowd made that impossible for DUMBO to locate once it came off the goalkeeper. He had no chance. ZADALIASGHARI. Iran corner. Well, NONATO just able to spin 180 degrees. It opened up. JEFINHO had a clear sight as well. 12 saves out of 12 shots on goal from SHOJAEIYAN. Hossein. That'll be a goal kick. Brazil now 19 shots to Iran's 2, but 12 of the 19 on target. And that shows you that Brazil have not only been accurate, but have chosen their moment well as well. They've worked it into really good positions. It's not really been speculative shooting. And the giant goalkeeper, who I think is taller than the height of the crossbar, but is also able to get down swiftly as well. He's kept everything out so far. "17 minutes to go. Still no sign of RICARDINHO yet for Brazil. RAHIMIGHASR for ZADALIASGHARI. Well, he's leaving the pitch upright at least. She went with us earlier on. ZADALIASGHARI left the field on a stretcher twice in the first half. On each occasion he came back. DUMBO. No way through there. might be trouble. JEFINHO. Back onto the right side. Oh, well tackled by POURRAZAVI. We've said that a few times. RAHIMIGHASR on the run. That'll be a corner off NONATO. Referees call time. LUAN, the Brazilian goalkeeper, 23-year-old at his first Paralympic Games. Trying to live up to the standards set by his coach, RAHIMIGHASR. Oh, well tackled by NONATO, clean as a whistle, and off he comes. NONATO maybe all the way here. Well, from one end to the other. It's a 13th save by SHOJAEIYAN. He got the green light, NONATO, and off he went into the space. He put everything into that shot. Now JEFINHO from the corner. It's going back to the left. Splendid tackle. SHAHHOSSEINI. Flattened by TIAGO. Always away from TIAGO this time. RAHIMIGHASR. Well, was he brought down? The guide is protesting vehemently behind the goal. The referee was indicating to the guide that the tackle took the ball, but he was coming in from behind RAHIMIGHASR. And that could easily have been a penalty to Iran. Here's the replay. Did TIAGO just make contact with the ball? He was challenging between the forward's legs, really. It was a very dangerous challenge. A risky challenge, I should say. That was a big call. And it would have been a big call as to whether or not it was a penalty from the 6-meter spot, because it was right on the edge of the box. Maybe this time, RAHIMIGHASR right through. Didn't have the power off the left side. He's still ailing somewhat from that fall a couple of moments ago. But a couple of scares for Brazil. POURRAZAVI comes in, that'll be a goal kick. Came back off DUMBO. Fabio VASCONCELOS just a little anxious. If Iran win the game, they win the group. A draw, and Iran qualify in second, and they'll be happy with that, and Brazil will win the group. Brazil wants to win every game, of course. JEFINHO. SHAHHOSSEINI did splendidly well. Referees have stopped the clock. RAHIMIGHASR. Well, this, I think, is a legacy of that tackle that came in from TIAGO a couple of moments ago. He took a heavy tumble in the penalty area, and when the guide, in particular, behind the goal, Mohammadreza Shad El Basir, was baying for a penalty. Haven't got the goals they came to see yet. He's back. He's back again. He also got a clout from his own teammate, didn't he? RAHIMIGHASR. You don't like to see the stretcher bearers in operation quite as much as they have been today. Although if the first half precedent is anything to go by, RAHIMIGHASR will be back in a couple of minutes. Let's hope so, let's hope so. Referees wanted to check RAJABPOUR's blindfold again. Rasool BASERI back onto the field for Iran. Used all of their outfield players bar one today. It's not just Ricardinho who hasn't taken to the field though for Brazil. Haven't seen CASSIO today either, and he would be a regular member of their starting five. The veteran DAMIAO hasn't joined the fray. Nil-nil to some degree suits both teams in the reality of the situation. Brazil would go through as group winners. Iran would qualify for the first time for the semi-finals of the football five-a-side. But you somehow sense it might not end that way. It's been a pretty good game in this second half. Iran providing a little bit more of a contest for Brazil. JEFINHO still staying up front, despite the fact Iran have got this corner. ZADALIASGHARI left to deal with the Brazilian defence on his own. Or alternatively, just to stand there. Just constantly getting information here, just checking the body position of the defender behind him, seeing if there's a chance to turn like that and move into the space. Well, that was a comfortable enough save for LUAN, really. It came from such a long way out. Shouldn't be letting it in from there. And JEFINHO was clattered. Free kick Brazil. Only, what, 8.5, 9 meters out. It's a good effort from ZADALIASGHARI because he was so cramped for room to begin with. And a sincere apology in the direction of JEFINHO for the scissoring tackle. Into the last quarter of the game now. Luis Felipe preparing to do his work. The instructions will be clear as to the locations of the near post and the far post to give JEFINHO the clearest picture of what's in front of him. It's going to be Dumbo instead this time. ZADALIASGHARI was onto it. JEFINHO's got to go back in a defensive role. TIAGO let him know he was there and taking over. And a goal kick Iran. It's always possible if two teams qualify for that. There he is. The star man's preparing to come on for Brazil, Ricardinho. I was going to say, if two teams qualify for the semi-finals, there's always a chance that they could meet again in the competition for gold or bronze. JEFINHO through the gap. Had to get the shot away quickly, and he did, but under pressure, it spun away from the near post. The defender must just have got a little flick to that. Goes down as a timely challenge. Dumbo getting the chance to go from the corner again. His blindfolds come completely away. So I think they'll stop the game with this goal kick, because that needs to be reapplied. I don't think the referees have noticed. Either way, it may well be Dumbo's name that's called for the change. Ricardinho is imminent here for Brazil. A chopping foul by TIAGO. And another heavy fall for poor old ZADALIASGHARI. What a tumble. Now, caution for TIAGO for the foul. First yellow card of the competition. Now, ZADALIASGHARI in a bit more trouble again. They've called for the doctors. He's not going to leave the pitch on a stretcher for the third time in the match, is he? Well, I understand you've got to take precautions and everything, and we all want safety of players to be the utmost priority. But when a player is leaving the field on a stretcher 3 times in the same game, let's hope he's okay. Let's hope he's okay. 8.5 minutes left. Well, not the kind of hat-trick he'll have dreamed of before the start of the match. He's been stretchered off 3 times in the same game. Extraordinary, extraordinary. So RAJABPOUR is also leaving the field, and BASERI is back in. In fact, RAJABPOUR is coming on for SHAHHOSSEINI with the protective headband, you can see there, the Iranian skipper. So it's JEFINHO who's making way, but the ovation is for Ricardinho. Perhaps the world's best player in football five-a-side. So often he's the man who makes the difference. And he's got 8.5 minutes to try and find the winning goal for Brazil. So Iran free kick after that foul by TIAGO that brought play to a conclusion, and we had the raft of changes. Here's RAHIMIGHASR. He's having a couple of decent chances for Iran in this second half. Dumbo did well. Brazil 23 shots to Iran's 4. 13 on target for Brazil, but they haven't beaten SHOJAEIYAN. Maybe Ricardinho can get them going. Brazil know they have a place in the semi-finals, whatever happens here. But if Iran score in the last 7 minutes 30 odd, then they will win the group. Ricardinho with the challenge. And he went down swiftly under the challenge. Just felt the hands in the back from SHAHHOSSEINI. I think he went down a little too easily there. RICARDINHO, the most fouled player in the tournament by a long way. He's been fouled, had been fouled 12 times in the opening 2 matches. It's more than double the number of any other player. RAJABPOUR. Nice turn. And all the way through, RAJABPOUR! Oh, what a golden chance for Iran. Terrific run from Hossein RAJABPOUR, the captain. Couldn't find the angle on the shot. Glorious moment for them, glorious opportunity. Now RICARDINHO. Will he begin one of these famous runs? Off he goes to the left. He was looking for NONATO instead of keeping possession. NONATO did really well to keep that in. Now can DUMBO get there for Brazil? Did well to find it now. DUMBO wins a corner for Brazil. 6 minutes left. What a run that was by RAJABPOUR. Just couldn't quite get his standing foot to the ball, which meant the shot was sliced. RICARDINHO from the corner. Can he find the moment? NONATO, NONATO. Goalkeeper again just stood his ground. He's such a big frame. How was the ball going to get past him from there? RICARDINHO. Ooh, the early strike with power. But again, he didn't spill it. That's 15 saves now from the goalkeeper. RICARDINHO testing him for the first time. RAHIMIGHASR. Well, it's a terrific effort to keep close control of the ball over such a long run, but it never opened up for him. Pass to DUMBO didn't work for Brazil. RAHIMIGHASR. It was a good tackle in the end. Here's RICARDINHO. And he gets such force in those shots with the right foot. Little back lift. Swift switching of the ball from side to side. Goalkeeper just has to be ready for the shot at all times. And then it comes through a little crowd of players. It can be tremendously difficult. FELIPE for the last few minutes. DUMBO's had a long spell on the field. He's getting a good hand. Players are encouraged to wear those protective headbands, the bit of extra white padding, but it's not obligatory. To occasionally get the odd crack of heads. Iran have called timeout with 3 minutes 38 remaining. And what this would mean if Iran hold on for a 0-0 draw here, they would qualify, yes, in second place behind Brazil for the semi-finals, but there would be no European team in the last 4 of these Paralympic Games, because we know Argentina and China are going to qualify from Group B, although we don't know in which order yet. So it'll be the top 2 in South America and the top 2 in Asia who will contest the medals. Still, that percentage of shots on target from Brazil is pleasingly high from their perspective, but nothing to beat this goalkeeper, SHOJAEIYAN. And you do imagine, I mean, he looks like the best goalkeeper in the tournament, although he's clearly been tested much more than LUAN has today in the Brazilian goal. There's a lot of evidence in SHOJAEIYAN's favour, though. When it comes to the medal matches, if Iran can take matches to penalties, and a lot of games in football five-a-side in the recent past in world and European football have ended that way, and they'll fancy their chances that their goalkeeper can keep out most, if not all. Now here he is again. ZADALIASGHARI, the man who's left the field on a stretcher 3 times, is coming back. And you don't really want to criticise, but it's a strange old set of circumstances. The crowd know it's very strange. He's a strong player. He's clearly carrying a couple of injuries. It's just the use of the stretcher that is bizarre. Anyway, 3.5 minutes. Can either side find a winning goal? Remember, Brazil have never been beaten in Paralympic football five-a-side. 3 tournaments, 3 gold medals. Haven't lost a match even in the group stages. As ZADALIASGHARI comes forward. So it's 3 minutes now in which Iran could cause a little bit of history. TIAGO. It's not generally one to start a forward run. There are others in the lineup charged with getting the goals. ZADALIASGHARI upends RICARDINHO. It's a fair tackle. The crowd didn't like that, though. The star man on his backside. As things stand, Brazil win the group. Iran qualify as the second best team. And for Iran, in the football five-a-side for only the 2nd time, that would be a terrific result. They were 6th in London. They are the champions of Asia. They beat China in the final last year on penalties, and China are a very good side with some dangerous dribblers. SHAHHOSSEINI is one of their starting 5 players, one of their best players. They want him on to try and help keep a clean sheet for these last 2 minutes. Pretty sure there'll be a fairly sizable celebration in the Iranian camp if this match ends goalless. And if even Brazil can't find a way past the Iranian goalkeeper, well, maybe they can. Here's RICARDINHO. They did well at showing him down the line, making sure there was no room for him to cut back into the centre. It's a popular move for RICARDINHO. Now ZADALIASGHARI. What a story it would be if he scored the winning goal. Oh, that was extremely theatrical from the big man. Yeah, the crowd want to be whistling ZADALIASGHARI, and he's gone down again. I'm afraid we're all losing a bit of patience with him. Last minute, Ricardinho for Brazil. Just opening up. Oh, well done by POURRAZAVI. Kept really close tabs on the ball's location. ZADALIASGHARI, he's taking time out of the clock here, and he's got Iran a corner. Clock will stop here in the last 2 minutes of each half. It stops for corners and free kicks. Yeah. He's the calmer of the two, Fabio Vasconcelos. He knows his team will have a semi-final regardless. You understand the tension in the Iranian camp. They're on the verge of achieving something very pleasing for them. ZADALIASGHARI. Strong and yet fragile at the same time. 30 seconds to go. And he's got another corner, and he's eked around 15 seconds off the clock. Valuable time elapsing here. And for Turkey, who are the last remaining team who had a chance of a semi-final place, it's going against them here. Well, ZADALIASGHARI at least is leaving here on 2 feet and walking with the referee guiding him off. Stretchered off 3 times in the same game, and he was okay to continue at the end. "19 seconds. Iran trying to hold on for the goalless draw that will take them into the semi-finals for the first time in football five-a-side at the Paralympic Games. And I think RAJABPOUR is going to get the job done. And Brazil's 100% record is going to go here. They're still going to win the group. They're still the favourites for the gold medal. But Iran are proving a tough team to beat. RAJABPOUR will keep it there. The hooter will go. And Iran are in the semi-finals for the first time. Brazil win the group. But they haven't beaten Iran. They haven't scored for the first time. They've been kept out. Iran have gone through the group stage without conceding a goal. And that bodes well for the semi-finals for them. Brazil win Pool A, but it's ended goalless. Brazil 0, Iran 0. And the celebrations, understandably, more exuberant in the Iranian camp. Brazil always expected to get to the semi-finals, and the disappointment at not having won that game when they've had that number of shots. 15 on target. They got into good positions, but they couldn't find a way past SHOJAEIYAN. Giant goalkeeper who made no mistakes. And he was the man of the match today. So, Brazil have won the group. Iran are confirmed in second place. Turkey and Morocco play